Hey guys, what's going on? This is Lukas here, and welcome to my channel, and if you're a subscriber, welcome back. This is another voiceover I'm doing in between videos of me actually on camera, trying to stretch myself out, see what I like. But yeah, today's video topic is going to be about the weird task of reading, and how it differs from other recreational activities. Now, this is just coming from me anecdotally. This is not a scientific study or anything like that, so take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt. This is just how I perceive it based on my own reading habits and my own tendencies and temperament. So, what am I talking about here? Basically, reading is interesting because if you look up reading online, it has a whole slew of benefits. You know, it can stave off cognitive decline, it can stave off dementia, it can improve your social skills, it can help you become more mindful, it can calm you down, it can increase neural connections in your brain, all these different things. The list is practically endless when it comes to the benefits of reading. And yet people do this for fun. And so I think that's very interesting because reading as it is an activity that takes away energy a lot of times instead of giving you energy a lot of times. So I think of it similarly to the gym. When you go to the gym and you work out, you don't really feel like working out anymore after a while. You have a limit to how much of it you want to do. And then when you're done, generally, you feel satisfied. And so that's how I feel that reading is as well. Reading is sort of like working out. There are some people who like working out, like me personally. I like the feeling of working out. I like the feeling of all the chemicals entering my brain, and I like all the, I like knowing that I'm building muscle mass. So I enjoy the process of it as well as the product. And I think it's that same way with reading, because it takes effort. It takes effort to get your feet wet into reading, and it takes effort to establish a routine. And much like physical activity, the more you do this routine of reading, the better you'll get at it, the easier it will become, and the more you'll start to enjoy it. And so that's what surprises me every single time I come back to reading. Because right now I'm reading this book that I talked about in my TBR recently. It's called Survive the Night by Riley Sager. And I was donating blood plasma earlier today, and while they were waiting to take me into the second floor, I read this book, and I decided to just bring this with me, and while I was waiting, just read through it. And I noticed that I had a big wave of initial resistance, but after that went away, I started finding it fun. And you can almost feel it working the gears in your head when you're reading. Just the way the words flow and the way you naturally pick up on phrases and stories and moods and scenes. It's incredible. And I always get into a reading slump where I never want to get started reading, but almost always when I start reading, I end up reading for longer than I anticipate because it just ends up being that fun. I actually get over the hurdle of that initial energy I require to put into the task, and in reward, I get a good story, good characters, I get a good cognitive exercise, and I am better off because of it. Much like how physical exercise affects your physical body, reading is sort of like physical exercise for your mind, for your mental health in some capacity. And so I guess that's what I'm learning, and that's what I'm getting at in this rant and this ramble, is that if you're in a reading slump, find something really easy. Find something really easy and read it. And once you've read it, maybe the larger book won't seem so intimidating anymore. Maybe you'll want to actually take on a bigger task. Maybe you'll actually want to do a reading list. Maybe you'll want to just take on a really, really heavy book, or a book that is usually beyond your comprehension, just as a challenge to yourself. Going back to the physical analogies again, I think that it's also important to pace yourself. Because of reading slumps, because of burnout, because of all these things, I think that can also be applied to physical activity. Because what happens when you work too hard physically? You're sore, you don't want to exercise. Your body physically can't exercise for the next several days or even a week if you overdo it. And so it's the same way with reading. If you try and be like, okay, I haven't read any books this year, and I'm going straight into a 24-hour binge of reading, I can almost guarantee you that after coming out of that, you're not going to really want to read any more than you did before the 24-hour mark. However, if you read constantly, if you're reading every day and you decide, oh, I want to challenge myself by doing a 24-hour readathon, generally speaking, from what I've experienced and what I've seen from booktubers, is that they will sustain and they won't experience burnout because they're already so used to reading a book. They're already so used to the process of it. And so I guess that's the whole point. The whole point is to focus on process and product, and also focus on the stories. Because, why are we reading in the first place? We're reading to either escape, or we're reading to enrich our experiences in some way. We're reading to empathize. We're reading to have a conversation with someone. It's so strange, and it's so magical, and it's unlike any other activity I've ever done. So I'm starting to gain my love back for reading. I'm starting slow. My TBR was only 6 books, and so I feel like that's a decent amount. 2 of them are rereads as well, so I think that's good to get my feet in the water, just dip my toes in a little bit, and I'll see where I want to go from there. But yeah, so the August TBR actually isn't a TBR for August, it's just a TBR that I made in August. So I'll probably be finishing these books in September, so expect my thoughts on them or my wrap-up at the end of September or the middle of September, in a weird, awkward timeline, because, yeah, I guess I didn't really think that title through. But anyway, I'm going to get back to reading. I hope you guys are having a lovely and fantastic day wherever you are. Please be safe, and yeah, that's about it. Like, comment, and subscribe if you like this video, and this is Lucas, and I'll catch you later.